In this video, I will show you everything in the new Untitled Attack on Titan update. If you want to skip to a specific section, I'll include chapters so that you can find exactly what you're looking for. If you don't want to hear me yap for a while, then probably don't watch the video. The first thing that needs to be gone over is the new changes to the lobby. So first off, the biggest thing that you'll notice is the UI is a lot different, and instead of pressing M to open the menu, you press the big menu button. I know it's extremely complicated, but yes, you press the big menu button at the bottom. And so now you've got these tabs at the top, and you also have these things at the top, which tell you how much gold you have, how much forge tokens you have, and this one, which a lot of people don't know, the clan spins, which is pretty useful, but you do still have to go into the main menu again and customize section for your clan spins still, but at least you can see how many clan spins you have now. You also have the settings button, and this is where you're going to find your codes. It's a little bit of a hidden spot, so here you go. It's in the settings for some reason, I don't know. Anyways, now you have this new mission UI. So instead of the previous system, which were the pads where you would go to these specific areas on the map and then you'd queue with a bunch of people, you can now click one of these and then you can choose the map, your difficulty, you can view your rewards, you can make it public or private so people can join it or not join it if you want, and then you can create the lobby. You can invite any of the people in the lobby to your little mission party or your raid party or your boss party, whatever you're doing, and then you would click start to start it. You can kick people, and then you can also just leave it. Next thing is the inventory tab, which includes pretty much all of the stuff that used to be in the old UI. You've got your ODM gear. It's great. Similar UI to what it was before. It works really well. Then we've got accessories. And I'll go over the new accessories later, but you do have this system where it won't tell you when you hover over it, but if I just unbug it real quick, it tells me all of my stuff on the side, and I can also toggle the visibility a lot easier. And I can view my character beforehand, as well as being able to see the skills and descriptions for my gear and all my gear stats, which is really useful for comparing gear. Next, we have the outfit section, which I just showed, and it's easier than going into the lobby, which was what you had to do before. Then we'll get to perks. You can hover over a perk to see what it does, and then you can also just click on it and click on a new one to equip it. It's very simple. Next, the Titan shifting section, and it's really just the same. Blade skins, also pretty simple. You can just click on one. Auras, same thing as well. I'll go over the new auras later. And then items, this is where you'll find your accessory crates and your perk crates. Then we have the store section. It's really just the same thing. Now, the final thing that is here, and I'll go over this a little bit later. Oh, where is it? The prestige NPC. So instead of like a prestige button, which used to be at the top of the menu, you now have to just talk to this NPC and then just go from there. You can see all of your rewards on there. I already have all the Prestige 8 ones because I'm level 359. But yes, this is everything in the lobby that is different. In this section, I will be going over all of the changes to the Prestige system, and I will be putting images of what I'm talking about on screen. The first thing that's different about the Prestige system is that the Prestige cap was increased from Prestige 6, which is where you get the Colossal Titan, now to Prestige 8. Something new that they added is that as you increase your Prestige, you get an increasing XP percentage bonus, and at Prestige 8, it is a 114% XP bonus, which is actually a really good bonus to your XP that'll help you level up a lot quicker to possibly get future leveling and prestige rewards. At Prestige 7, they added the Rogue Aura, as well as the Abyss Aura, the new Night Slayer Blade skin, and in Prestige 8, they added the Lawbringer Blade skin, and those are all the changes to the new Prestige system. In the new update, they added two new gears, being the Thunder Gear and the Thunder Blitz Gear. First off, the Thunder Gear is a legendary, and you have only a 1% chance of obtaining a legendary gear. So you could say that the Thunder gear is extremely rare, but you do get it from spinning, and it is pretty good. It only has one move, which is Thunder Step. Move around at the speed of light around nearest Titan's napes and slash them. So let's go look at this in game. Okay, let's look at this gear's ability, called Thunder Step. And just as the description says, I teleport to Titans, and the exact number of Titans that you teleport to and kill is 6 Titans, and it kills them instantly, and it has a pretty short cooldown. Now let's look at the Thunder Blitz gear, which is the evolution of the Thunder gear. The Thunder Blitz gear is extremely good, and it's currently the second best gear in the game, and still being the #1 best for skill spamming, taking the place of Savage Demise Mark II. One thing I want to point out is if you look at the stats are much better than the Thunder gears, and I'll swap between them real quick so you can just look at them. Every single stat increases. It doesn't have the fastest speed in the game, but it is still a really good gear because of its skills. Let's go through them. So the first one is Thunder Step. It does the exact same thing. Move at the speed of light around nearest Titan's napes and slash them. The second move is Blitz. User moves so fast to the point of becoming a ball of just pure lightning, cutting everything in his way. The third move, Godspeed. User awakens, giving the user aura and buffing him. It does a bit more than just the description says, and I'll talk about that a little bit once I get into a mission. And then Hand Slasher, useful skill, everyone knows what it does. When grabbed, slash the Titan's hand to save yourself. Now, let's jump in game, and we'll test it. Alright, so I'm here in a mission, and I'm going to show you the first skill, the Thunder Step, which is Z. And it teleports to 6 Titans, just like the other one, and kills all of them. Now, this move is the exact same as the other one, with the exact same cooldown as in the Thunder gear, but there are some big differences with this gear. Now, one thing that you can notice is, it has more abilities, but also it has the buff, which is Godspeed, and I'll go over that in a minute. Now, the X skill is Blitz. Does this, turns me into a lightning ball, exactly what it says, and it lasts 2 seconds. Next, I will show you Godspeed. So, I will go up here to explain it to you. Godspeed does way more than the description says. So the first thing Godspeed does is it gives you a full heal, which is extremely broken. If you know about the other heals on other gear, they heal you, but they have a really long cooldown, and Godspeed only has a 40-second cooldown. The second thing that Godspeed does is it buffs both Thunder Step and Blitz. What it does to Thunder Step is jumps between 10 Titans instead of 6, and what it does to Blitz is makes it last 3 seconds. And the last thing Godspeed does, it makes you look really awesome. Oh, and it increases your walking speed. But it also makes you look really awesome. I don't think I have to show off Hand Slasher. Pretty much everyone knows what that does. But I will get grabbed real quick to showcase that. You do need more than half a blade. And then the final thing I will show you with Blitz, which is extremely powerful. Yes, the best thing about Blitz, you can use it in a Titan's hand. I don't know if it'll get nerfed, but it's crazy that it's a hand slash. But another thing about Blitz, you cannot turn it, so you go straight, but I think it's still a really useful skill. In the new update, they added 6 new accessories. The first accessory is the Exotic Headscarf. It increases ODM gear speed by 1% and range and damage by 15%. The second accessory added is the Bizarre Hat, which increases ODM gear damage by 15%, speed by 4%, and player health by 10%. The third accessory added is the Business Hat, which increases ODM gear range and health by 15%, speed by 10%, and damage by 20%. The fourth accessory added in the update is the Royal Scarf, which increases ODM gear damage by 15%, range by 5%, and health by 20%. The next accessory added is the Scarlet Scarf, which increases ODM gear damage by 20%, speed by 6%, and player health by 5%. And the final accessory that they added in the update is the Winter Coat, which increases ODM gear speed by 4% and range and damage by 10%. One of the coolest things in the update is the new raid. I'm not going to show you an entire run of the raid, but I'll explain it. Basically, you shoot down the blimps, then you kill the armored titan, then you kill the jaw titan, and then Aaron gets shot, he gets sent to the past, Aaron talks, he goes blah blah blah, and then he starts the rumbling, and then you kill the rumbling. I know I didn't show a lot of the rumbling in that clip, because I want you to experience it for yourself, but it's actually a really fun raid, and it takes a while, but it's also really worth it, because you get a ton of gold. I'm talking like from 15,000 to 18,000 if you do it on the hardest difficulty and get all the side objectives, as well as there's a 10% chance that you get the Surge Aura, which is the one that I'm wearing right now. Another important change that you can see in this update is like the crazy visual overhaul. Like before, these trees and buildings were not nearly as realistic, and the Titans look way better now, especially because they don't have to wear the caveman clothing anymore, and the models look a lot more realistic. And I think this is a really good change. It's one of the things that was really criticized about the game compared to other games like AOTR, where everyone said that it has a better visual style than the old UAOT did. Honestly, I don't really like how AOTR looks, but it's all just opinion. I do think that now UAOT looks a lot better than it did before, and that's one of the main things that you can see shown off a lot in this update. Alright, now, because I'm a helper in the Discord, I see a ton of questions coming through, and a lot of them are very similar, so I'm going to answer a few of the most common ones right now. The first one is, what is the best gear in the game? Because Thunderblitz is new, and it looks really good, but is it actually the best? And the answer is, if you want to spam skills, if your whole goal is just to spam skills, kill as many Titans as possible like that, then do go with Thunderblitz. It's the best for that. But if we're talking about the best overall, Ambush Mark II is still going to be your best because it does have the best AoE skill in the game, but it also has that higher speed level that pros are looking for when they're going to play. So Ambush Mark II is still the best in the game, but Thunderblitz is a great second, and Thunderblitz is the best for spamming skills. Another question, which it's not affected by the update, but it's still very important, what is the best clan? Now, I get this question many times a day. Probably like 100 or 1,000. It's a lot. Now, there's really two clans you're going to be looking at. You're going to be looking at Ackerman and Jaeger. And based on Ackerman, if you look at it, because it halves all of your skill cooldowns, it looks like it's going to be really overpowered. And I would say, yes, Ackerman is extremely good for skill spamming, but a lot of people who aren't skill spamming are going to use Jaeger because it gives you both passive healing and passive speed, which the 10% passive speed it gives you is already really good. Ackerman does have speed. It does have a speed buff when you use its active ability, but since Jaeger is a passive and you aren't allowed to use an active ability in a kill race, Jaeger is going to be that number one for a lot of high-ranked people. The next question is, what is the best setup for the raid, including which Titan should I use? So this is the setup that I use, and I know a lot of people use something similar. For gear, you're going to want to go Thunderblitz, because it's really good for killing all of the Titans, all of the Marleyans, as well as all of the Wall Titans at the very end of the raid. You want to use Ackerman because it halves all of your skill cooldowns, which means your Godspeed, full heal, and move buff goes from 40 seconds to 20 seconds, and really good skills like Thunderstep go from about 50 seconds down to 25, which is extremely good. And with Blitz, you can just shred the Titans, the Wall Titans at the end. And then for your Titan in the raid, you're going to want to run Colossal if you're planning on nuking it, because Colossal Shift does 10,000 damage, and you can see the health bar for the Armored Titan on the side of your screen. On the left side, it's in the objectives, so you can imagine 10,000 damage is a massive chunk, because you can unshift now, so you can just shift into the Colossal, then unshift, and your Armored Titan is pretty much almost dead. And then, if you want, the final thing you can do for the raid is run a full damage build. Now, you might be saying, hey, there's a damage cap, my damage is not going to get any higher. Well, the point of having a higher damage is that you don't need as much velocity to do the maximum damage possible, which is why some people will run full damage accessories, which you don't need to. It's not necessary by any means, and it's not going to make a huge difference. But if you want everything to be perfectly min-maxed, then do that. And then the next question is, what is the best XP farm? So the best XP farm, it's either the raid on aberrant difficulty or the Colossal boss. Both of them are still really good. Best gold farm, I would have to say both is the same as the last answer, the aberrant raid and the Colossal boss. But I would say I would rather do the aberrant raid a lot more than the Colossal Titan, because the Colossal Titan's really repetitive and it doesn't take long, while the aberrant raid has a little bit more variety. I mean, it's not a lot, but there's more objectives and more stuff that's gonna happen, so it's just a lot more interesting to me because it takes longer. It just keeps me interested rather than Colossal, where I'll normally throw on a YouTube video or something, because it's the same boring thing over and over again, and every single kill is less than 1 minute. Anyways, those are my update frequently asked questions. Let me know in the comments or in the Discord if you have any more questions, because I'm almost always on the Discord if I'm not away from home. And I hope you enjoyed today's video on the new Untitled Attack on Titan update. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. I'll probably respond, or someone else can help you. If you really want to get a swift response that's probably correct, join the Discord server for Untitled Attack on Titan. I definitely recommend joining it if you have any questions, because they're really good people to answer questions, like me, because I'm a helper. And there's also Mike. If he responds, he's definitely right. And then there's also some more people who are questionable, but they will answer you. It might be right, and it also might be wrong. Anyways, if you like UAOT, then like and subscribe to my channel. Please. Goodbye.